I'd like to welcome back Mike McGearty to the WiT Studio. He is the CEO and co-founder of Meili. Mike, you were here last year in the WiT Studio, so welcome back. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Yeah, good to have you back. Of course, Future Lane Season 2 is going to be on YouTube, so anyone who subscribes to our channel on YouTube can watch that there. So it's been 12 months since we last spoke. I know the next 20 is all about looking forward, but let's look back at the last 12 months. How much has changed since then in mobility tech?
I don't think there has been significant change in mobility tech. I think one of the things that we're seeing is that probably the model that we have brought to the market, which is facilitating direct partnerships for the large car rental companies, we're seeing a really strong adoption of that. So we've now over 50 customers, so really strong growth in the last 12 months. And what we're seeing as well is a lot of the RFPs coming to market from airlines and other travel companies are looking for that tech model where they own the commercial relationship with the car rental company, and where they're enabling their customer or the traveller to have that direct booking experience. And I think that's driven by a number of factors. You know, one being they're seeing that the conversion levels that we're achieving with that model are far superior to what is being achieved by others in the market. So it's not just great value add for their customer, it's also generating higher return on revenues for them.
Right. And you've said that Meili aims to reduce friction points in car rental and help travel and mobility brands drive direct bookings and loyalty, right? So what are some of the specific friction points in legacy systems that most people don't realize, and how is Meili uniquely positioned to handle those?
Sure. So I think the first thing is, with a lot of legacy systems, especially where that model, so whether it's a broker model or where there's revenue management occurring by the intermediary, that means there's a lot of bias in the system. So it means that you're not really looking at the traveller's requirements. You're looking to see what's the product that will deliver the best margin or return for me. So therefore, the display is quite heavily influenced by other factors other than the customer's information. So that's the first thing, and that introduces a lot of friction, a lot of bias, and a lot of uncertainty and a lack of trust. Because if you're expecting to see certain brands and they're not displayed there, you're kind of going, well, why am I seeing these other brands? Why am I not seeing the brands that I expect to see? Yeah. It's a bit like walking into a supermarket and you want to buy cornflakes and Kellogg's are not there. You're seeing other brands and you're going, what type of supermarket am I in? So that's one of the things. I think the second thing is insurance. A lot of other models offer third-party insurance and not the car rental's own insurance products. And therefore, if a customer wishes to remove the excess, we offer the car rental's own product, and therefore there's zero friction when they get to the desk. And it's a direct booking, so any customer making a booking through our platform can then download the app and basically pre-register with the car rental company that they've chosen, and again reduce the time that it takes. So it just removes a lot of layers of complexity. The final thing is, if you need to talk to the service provider, it's a direct booking, so you can talk directly to them. You don't have to go through a middleman or another layer of customer service that probably isn't well equipped to answer your question.
Right. So just switching to AI, and we talk about AI in so many different aspects and what it can do, right? And it's usually seen as like a silver bullet to solve a lot of problems that we have today. You have cautioned against it and its limitations in the past when we've spoken. In Meili's roadmap, what are the concrete uses for AI, machine learning, automation, and what areas do humans need to stay in for it to operate properly?
So look, there's a few things where AI can definitely assist in a significant way. So the customer service is definitely an area where and when I mean customer service as well, even assistance with the booking. So it facilitates the customer to put free text in, and for us to understand, well, what's causing the pain point for them at this point of the booking, and how do we provide the information to ensure that they have transparency and the knowledge that they're confident in making the booking that they wish to make. So that's a given in terms of the customer servicing that it can provide both during the booking, post-booking, etc. I think another big area that, sorry, just to finish on that as well, because there's one really important point. We can use that information because it's direct. So we're not limited by having to price the product and look at the margin of the product, etc. So we're a pure tech platform. However, one of the challenges I would say for some in the market is when they're using AI and the customer is sharing information like that to get greater transparency, will they be biased by how they respond based on the margin that they generate on different products, or overrides that they're trying to hit by placing bookings with certain providers, etc. And that's not just for car rental, that's right across the travel spectrum, whether it be hotel and other products. It's just the impact that revenue management has on how you can process and use that information versus where we're not encumbered by that. We basically don't have that constraint. So that's really important. Other areas that we're using AI as well is in terms of offering the customer new ways of how they search. So for example, through speech. And that's again just opens up new opportunities, because somebody can just talk to us and say, this is exactly what I'm looking for, what do you think the best options are? Yep. So you're not limited by where would you like to pick up, where would you want to drop off, what are the dates, etc. You can just easily tell us what you're looking for. So there's lots of areas like that AI will enhance, and the servicing as well.
Right. I want to talk about funding and sustainability for a bit. So Meili has raised capital and is growing fast. Yeah. How are you balancing capital efficiency versus speed of growth?
Yeah, so I think the big thing is we have a very strong team in place now. So we've you do have to invest ahead of the curve in terms of building the team. We've done that. We have the team now where, in terms of the number of future hires that we require to continue to scale, is a low percentage of what we've already hired. So you're not going to see significant increase. We've 50 people now, and we will be adding people, but not in significant numbers. So the model itself is very capital efficient. The other thing is, in terms of the environment that you build in, so building in the cloud, and to be able to scale efficiently in terms of the volume growth that you receive in terms of the query transaction growth and also the booking transaction growth. Again, because we've architected that with the knowledge and domain expertise that we've gathered over the last 20 plus years, we've been able to do that very effectively as well. So our unit cost per transaction is very, very low, and therefore as we add volume now to the platform, it doesn't require significant new capital. So the new capital is more about, okay, are there other new projects that we want to look at, such as hotel and other products that we want to add in to build out the ancillary platform that we've built. And that's where we look at new allocation of capital.
Right. So whenever I listen to you or Bobby speak, Bobby Healy, of course, your co-founder, there's always this idea of we will disrupt ourselves before someone else decides to disrupt us, disrupt the cycle more like. So what do you see as the biggest competition for Meili?
Yeah, so like one of the things for us is to continue to be a leader in technology, and therefore you do have to disrupt yourself. When I look at the market at the moment, I go, we support the customers who use our platform, as in an airline, an OTA, etc. And we support the car rental companies, the mobility companies, etc. Whoever is part of our ecosystem or the stakeholders on our platform, right? We're dependent on their direct traffic. So if it's an airline and they have 70% direct distribution today, and that's growing, that's great for us because basically, we're converting at a percentage rate of their total PNRs, and that's the transaction volume that we can generate. If, for example, with OpenAI, Perplexity, etc., the discovery phase of the channel or travel funnel starts changing, and that impacts their direct bookings, well, that impacts us. So some of the fears I would have are more the non-controllables for us. It's how the travel discovery phase will change over the next 5 years. And when I see, different deals announced this week with Perplexity, OpenAI, etc., I would have a question mark there as to, well, are they going to build an ecosystem there for discovery that is good for the traveler, or is it going to be based on partnerships with different companies? Because what the traveler wants is that all travel products, all different channels of distribution are represented through the different search funnels of AI, and that it's not limited in any way. And if you do a different search today, if you go on to AI today and you say, I'd like to shop for the following, and you give it certain criteria, you may see flights that are returned that are coming from OTA channels or other channels, right? Yeah. If you then amend the search and say, I want to remove OTA channels, and you refine the criteria, the results brought back can be quite different. So what we don't want is that there's that level of bias there, because that's not good for the traveller ultimately. What you want is fair representation across all channels.
Right. Which is so interesting because, then it kind of means that the competition or the things that can affect the company are not necessarily within the same industry. Because you mentioned like Perplexity and OpenAI, these are like predominantly very, very tech companies. They don't compete in the same space, yes, but they have such an influence on everything that everybody does.
Absolutely. So if you look at when Google started 20 plus years ago, and we were all kind of looking and saying, okay, well, what's going to happen here? What influence are they going to have? Arguably, you could say that Google are the biggest travel company in the world today because of the percentage of revenue that they generate, okay? But they're not a travel company. But they dominate that discovery phase. So how that transitions now over the next 5 years with AI will, I think, be hugely interesting. And let's see, and regulation is always too late. So basically, 20 years ago, people were going, okay, do you regulate Google and the other search engines, etc.? It didn't happen. Now you're looking and you're seeing the advent of AI, and you're going, well, what should happen here? And
it's moving way too fast.
It's moving way too fast. None of us could have predicted the advancements in AI over the last 12 months. It's just absolutely accelerating at a pace that we haven't seen before. So I think that will be fascinating to see what happens over the next 12 months before we're back in Singapore again, in terms of what has happened in that discovery phase. Has it started shifting from Google and other search engines into AI driven? And what percentage, because what we are seeing is when something does shift, it shifts very quickly now. You look at the first 100 million users of OpenAI, record time. So everything is just moving at a speed that we haven't seen before.
Right. If you could fix one problem in mobility tech today, let's say fix it overnight, yeah, what would it be and why?
I wouldn't just take mobility tech. If I was to say travel tech, just broaden the spectrum, I would say the legacy debt. I think it's a huge limitation on the industry, whether it be from airlines to hotel to car rental to other. I think the legacy tech there is absolutely holding back all of the service providers from distributing their product irrespective of channel, because this impacts a lot of channels today, not just their direct channel, their indirect channels as well. I think the legacy debt is a real constraint on the industry, and something that I think now with the advent of AI is going to hold them back even further. So that would be the one. Yeah, if I had a magic wand, I would fix all of that, and I think it would be very powerful then for the traveller, because I think it would open up absolutely great opportunities for the traveller to be able to book product and services in a way that we can't do today.
Right. If you're looking at trends, what is a trend that's maybe small today or in 2025 that people should keep an eye on, because it's going to get pretty big in the next 12 months or in 2026?
So just the beginning of that again, if I'm looking at trends. The travel trend that I will be following is basically traffic through Perplexity and other AI systems. I think that to me is how quickly will the discovery shift, and what will be the response from the incumbents such as Google, etc.
Right. Expedia and Booking.com just made a partnership with OpenAI yesterday.
Exactly, and that's the bit that I would be kind of concerned about. As I would be much more comfortable if I was seeing that all of the service providers were entering into the same agreements, because then at least everybody is going to be represented in that environment. So whereas if you think about it, there was never any official partnerships for Google, right? You went and you did your PPC, you did your SEO, right? So it was open to everybody. Everybody participated, and then people were better at it. They got better value of traffic, etc. But with AI, the partnerships is the thing that it's new. I don't fully understand what those partnerships are going to mean, but that's the thing I'll be looking very closely at over the next couple of months.
Right. One of the big themes this year is vibes, the packaging and the selling of vibes, and understanding the vibes that people want. Because they don't really say, I want to go to this place anymore. They say, I want to feel something, and then brands try to package that for them. Do you think that also extends into loyalty? And if it does, what does it look like in the next 20 years?
Look, I think it will have an influence, okay, certainly. And if one of the things that we're looking at and thinking about is, how do you provide the right content? And I think video is becoming really important now. So there's certainly content there that we need to start looking at, and how we bring it in and overlay that in terms of the products or services that we're introducing to different customers. So I totally think it is very, very relevant. I think also speech, and how speech is going to evolve over the next 12 to 18 months will be really important too. But definitely Vibes is going to be very impactful, and we just need to make sure that we're addressing that through all channels, or not just for loyalty. It's every single customer. It will have an influence there, and it will start becoming the norm that if you don't have the right content support, the customer will then go to other channels where they feel confident. I think one of the big things that has come across certainly over the last 2 days as well is trust. And I think how you use content to build that trust, to build that transparency, to ensure that the customer is comfortable with everything that they're seeing is very important.
Right. Mike, this has been insightful as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much.